Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Sherry D, for this wonderful festival. It's a real pleasure to be here. And thank you, Rose and David, for the phenomenal job you guys do at Frontenac. I'm wondering if I can raise this just a tiny bit without causing total chaos. Thank you, Ian. It is rare you get to read and launch a book with like somebody you grew up with when you were 7 in the same space. And hi, Ian. Thank you so much for making it. It's very cool. He's from Montreal also. Tonight I'm reading from Any Bright Horse, and this story starts in 1298. A man is taken to Genoa. He is not young. He has seen too much of the world. He knows there is no such creature as a true enemy or reliable friend. Let me tell you a story, he says to his jailers. He thinks of Scheherazade, how she murmured, "Let me tell you a story, a tale to charm and amaze." But she was an alluring woman who knew to weave words, who kept her head by outwitting her difficult sultan. Most rulers can be seduced by the right words, he thinks, remembering his various employments. But Scheherazade was a woman known as much for her silk veils as for her stories. Bells tied to her ankles, her lovely skin patterned with henna. Why did she not murder the Sultan with a simple knife hidden in her gentle hand? She could have broken free of her prison. Are storytellers not bloodthirsty? She was so exalted an ornament, he thinks. Surely she knew what options were open to her. She took the best route available. But he does not have her charms. He is unshaven. He is dirty. He is sure he has grown too old to delight anyone's eye. He is a commander of the Venetian fleet that has lost the war. He is a prisoner among other prisoners. He knows from experience the only thing that will keep him fed is his story. He will delight the ears of his captors. He will delight their minds. Let me begin, he says. What he tells is too marvelous to believe, but there is no harm in listening, say the Genoese, who gather to hear him speak. The whole city is drawn to his cell. His voice pulls honest burghers from their bed, midwives from their birthings, bakers from their ovens, laundresses from their washing, ironmongers from their fires, whores from their mending, generals from their maps, painters from their frescoes, policymakers from their feuds, maidens from their confessions, priests from their indulgences. Everyone alive in Genoa today comes to listen to this man in his plain stone room. He sits on a stone bench by the barred window. They fill the courtyard. They lie on the nearby rooftops. They catch his words, this Venetian commander who commands nothing but his story. It's one hell of a story. He says, there was once a river that came down from the mountains, and it was liquid silver. Between the river's banks, high above the canyon, a ball of fire was suspended. The people who lived nearby burned offerings by flying kites like birds straight into the ball of fire. Ashes fell into the silver of the river and tainted it, and on those high, holy occasions, an announcement was posted, "Beware of falling ashes." The town had a great library guarded by 6 lions on the far bank beyond the ball of fire. The lions were made of stone the exact gray of the offering's ashes, and their stone mouths spoke nothing but their own names, unless you asked them the right question. And then, oh, but no, I can't tell you what they told me. The river's people believed only in water because it was so rare, because the silver of their river was precious but undrinkable. The inhabitants wore heavy anklets that glinted like mirrors. They wore long scarves weighted with tiny silver milagros, which trailed tinklingly in the wind when they walked. They carried flame-colored canaries in small silver cages, transporting them from place to place across narrow bridges high above the silver rapids, carefully avoiding the shimmering ball of fire. When the inhabitants walked, they sang flute-like to their birds, yellow, green, yellow, red, yellow, and the cage's thin, precious bars shivered with these notes. The people walked across the silver heart of their country, singing, and the land folded towards their song like lions. But on the low rocks near the silver river, there was a whorehouse. The prostitutes within the house came to believe that after death, their worn souls were reincarnated as the birds in those cages. So all through the day, they kept their shutters of the whorehouse sealed tightly against the songs. And it was only at night, when the stars were reflected like points of hope in the silver river, at night when the ball of fire was masked by its own veil of fog, that the prostitutes allowed themselves to open their windows and sing.